The Tar Heels win ugly, but they win. And in the end, that's all that matters. Towards the end of this, Francis, I'm going to make a comparison you're going to like very much, because there's going to be takes of people saying that the Tar Heels were not proven in how they won the championship game, some foul calls, some luck, a little bit of this. Like I said, after the Final Four, I did a whole thing about how they survive, they're resilient, and they get some luck, and they've gotten some calls, and it's the least dominant 1 seed. It's the least dominant North Carolina team that's ever won a national championship. What's interesting, though, is Roy Williams. Well, there's a lot of interesting things, I should say. Roy Williams picks up his 3rd national title as a head coach, which is more than the great late Dean Smith, UNC, who only had 2. It was their 20th championship game appearance. So those who are rooting for the underdog didn't get their wish. Gonzaga disapproves or goes to 0-8 against #1 seeds all time. And we'll get to a lot of the internet reaction. Francis, an ugly game in itself.
I'm a fan of Roy Williams. I'm a fan of his dancing. I'm a fan of his jackets.
I was going to say, yeah, you probably do like his jackets.
So, yeah.
Are you wearing this one in honor of?
No.
A little bit of North Carolina bluish?
Oh, yeah, it could be. Could be. I mean, we just know that the ceiling is a roof. And that's the motto that they took into this game. No, I enjoyed watching the game. Yeah, there's going to be things that people will pick and choose and try to decipher whether or not they were worthy winners or not. I was a fan of Gonzaga as well. I thought that I was rooting for them and never have won a national championship, so I wanted to see them emerge victorious. I like the big Paul. He was just an absolute mountain of a man. But I don't know. There was parts in this tournament where I saw North Carolina overcome adversity and come up against obstacles that perhaps could have overthrown them. And everyone kind of likes to see redemption and likes to see a team bounce back after suffering I mean, how much worse of a loss could you face than last year's when you lose to a buzzer beater? Like, there's nothing you can do.
Some people can't overcome losing a championship game like that. Now, granted, it's North Carolina basketball. If it wasn't this year, it would be sometime in the next 10 years that they'd find a way to get back there and or at least the Final Four and find ways to win championships. They are a factory for quality college basketball. While the Duke-UNC rivalry will always be one of the best rivalries in college sports, if not sports, altogether, UNC has a tendency to also send better talent to the NBA. Because a lot of the guys also stay for more than 1 year, which is unique for UNC. Same as Gonzaga. People don't transfer out of Gonzaga, which is, again, unique for an environment that is one and done, like the Kentuckys of the world that are breeding one and dones. They want their one and dones. Play with me for a year, go to the NBA. There's a couple things before, so we're actually going to go to, let's go to, no, screw it. We'll start from the top and then we'll get into some of the breakdown of the game in itself, because I have one complaint about Gonzaga's last minute and a half. But Adam Morrison was back. Adam Morrison signed a big contract. Adam Morrison looks like my pool lifeguard. That does not look like a happy man. And that was when it was a close game. There was a couple of reactions, Francis, understandably. We can just go through these one by one for the next 3 for Adam Morrison tweets. Let's go to element number 2. I know he's waiting. He's like, God damn it, 1 second.
That was just the way your face, you try to keep that face.
I know, that's the funny part. Hey, look, I'm making myself laugh. Because at the expense of Ja'Cory or Griffin, or whoever's in there. Who's in there? Who's in there today?
It's Ja'Cory.
It's Ja'Cory. Miss you, Ja'Cory. When you realize no matter what you do, you can't win, because he had just one of the greatest crying faces ever back in the mid-2000s. Next up, we have, do we have the pool? Do we have, glad to see Adam Morrison has found work as a yoga instructor / assassin. Not sure why assassin, but credit to @SportsPickle for the name Sports Pickle.
I like the spot.
Adam Morrison in roughly 20 more years.
Trying to reach the green from here, shooter. That's not possible, sir. I beg to differ.
I saw Happy do it.
Happy Gilmore did that just under an hour. That's good for Happy Gilmore. Oh my God.
And then more importantly, when it comes to the game itself, a quick Big Lebowski ode. Kennedy Meeks' hand is on the line, but it's not like there's a referee right there. I'm not sure how exactly they missed this call. And it was a big deal because it came at a time where they called the jump ball. The possession arrow was with UNC, so they got the ball back and they scored. So people say, well, how much did this call make a difference? It definitely had its impact.
Over the line!
Huh?
I'm sorry, Smokey. You were over the line. That's a foul.
Foul, Francis. Can't be
over the line.
And then lastly, Maxwell, when it comes to the stats, people thought, well, it seemed like it wasn't a great game because no one could really make a shot. Right. They shot a combined roughly 34.3% as both teams. North Carolina with easily the most impressive stat you'll see in a long time, shooting 14.8% from 3 and winning.
Oh.
I can go 4 of 27.
Who says teams that aren't the Golden State Warriors can't win? You can win with that 3-ball.
You can win with that 3-ball. Neither team. I'm actually surprised Gonzaga shot 8 of 19 because it seemed like both teams missed 13 consecutive threes each. Yeah, that's really bad. And then the key stat was on bottom. Gonzaga's 14 turnovers. Now, Francis, where did my complaints come in? Well, there is one, and it does fall on head coach Mark Few, which, look, Nigel Williams-Goss was having a fantastic game, 38 minutes up to that point. There's 2 minutes left in the game, and actually a minute 55 seconds, and he makes the go-ahead jumper, which was big. And right, so Gonzaga fans are getting into it. Minute 55 seconds left. Minute 40 seconds left, Justin Jackson makes a layup, but gets fouled by Goss, Williams-Goss, it's a hyphenated name, sorry, Williams-Goss, who busts his ankle. He twists it pretty bad. He landed wrong on it. He was in some kind of pain. Now, I'm not saying take him out of the game. I understand the sentiment. I understand this is the national championship game. Your entire season has come down to this. You're not going to sit with a minute and 30 seconds left. But what that does mean is you should not be the guy being drawn up for plays. And not only did they do it once, which I thought the first time was like, all right, you tried, would have been a great story. It would have been like, and this is a ridiculous reference because I don't even watch hockey, but Paul Kariya of the Anaheim Ducks when he got flattened in the playoffs and then came back like 15 minutes later and scored like the game-winning goal, right? So he's not Paul Kariya. He ain't getting up and getting that layup or getting that shot off. That ankle was not comfortable. And then again, a minute and a half later, they run their last attempt at least at getting, before the breakaway started happening, they had Nigel Williams-Goss again take a shot. I get it, your team was in foul trouble. Players were out. You didn't have your full lineup in there. Your big Karnowski was not making anything throughout that entire game, also known as Marcin Gortat's Polish teammate. Was not making anything, no touch. He had the moves, but no touch around the rim. His ankle was busted. He looked bad. He fell short on the first shot he took. Why run it through him again? It's like Doc and Blake, Dan. It's like Doc and Blake.
Switch it up. Plan B.
And then just, good finish. Kennedy Meeks is everywhere, even getting calls for him when he steps over the line. A forgettable championship game.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But not forgettable champions.
No, they deserve.
Joel Berry was there last year. Kennedy Meeks was there last year, I believe. Justin Jackson was there last year. The only person that I really wish was still there, even though you can't be a 6-year senior, at least at UNC, Michael Jordan. Was Michael Jordan. The ceiling is the roof.
Get him back.
So I was confused on one last thing, Francis. Chris Jenkins was sitting in a North Carolina t-shirt. The guy who hit the game winner for Villanova last year, right behind the UNC bench, and people were saying it wasn't trolling. I must have missed a storyline.
Is he a fan? I guess. Family?
You would want the guy who ripped your hearts out 2 rows behind you?
I don't know, man.
Is it motivation?
Maybe, even if he did make that game-winning shot, maybe he's got an allegiance to it. Maybe, I mean, if you're a Badgers fan, right? So if you made a shot against them, would you never go and watch a Badgers game ever in your life again?
I don't know. Possibly.
I think you answered my question.
I grew up with the Badgers once I went to URI.
He might have grew up
Rams
in Carolina.
fan. I'm both. I get both.
But I'm just guessing, and maybe he was trolling, and maybe he's an awful, awful individual. But maybe it was the motivation they needed. Maybe that's why Roy Williams just kept pointing to it, going, this guy ripped your heart out.